Welcome back, everyone. We are picking up right where we left off. I've just crossed the northern Moat and left the old city limits. Now I'm continuing north, and as always, I'll just chat about whatever I happen to see along the way. On the left, we just passed the entrance to the municipal government staff quarters, likely built about 30 years ago. It's unassuming and very orderly. These government residences are never flashy. They are usually spacious apartments, probably around 150 square meters. There might be larger or better ones inside. I've never gone in for a closer look. I just speculating based on experience. Just passed a few red cars, and seeing them really lifted my spirits. The weather is great, and the cars are so clean, they are practically glowing. That bright, vibrant red is so uplifting. It really boosts mood. We've turned into another small hutong. What was it called again? I've forgotten. Dongqing Xiang, Holy Lane maybe. This little lane is actually quite pleasant. It's not that bustling, just peaceful. I even wonder if the shops here makes any money at all, or if they are just fulfilling some small personal dream. In terms of overall housing conditions, it's far better than Juhutong from the previous episode. Those were old, self-built shacks over at least 50 years old, whereas these seem to have been planned by some work units. Even with planning, the layout remains small. It's fine for nostalgia, but I'm not sure about comfort. I've never stepped inside these shops because I know I won't be buying anything. Just browsing without purchasing doesn't feel right, so I'd rather not disturb them. Originally, the storefronts here were probably all hardware related. Things like welding or making doors and windows. It seems that later on, these passion projects or hobby shops started to pop up and gradually took over these spots. But as I ride further along, I'm seeing more of the original welding shops again. The further I go, the quieter it gets. Coming out onto this main street, doesn't it feel less bright and bustling than the last one? Even though both are closed for the holidays, this one just feels different. You can tell at a glance that this is another old street. The bike lane used to be the sidewalk, and the current four-lane road for motor vehicles were the entire width of the original street. Those trees on the divider between the car lanes and the bike lanes were all the roadside trees back then. The way they prune trees around here is bizarre. They'll just chop them bald out of nowhere and make them regrow. Those trees really have a rough time. You can imagine how wide the sidewalks used to be. Plus, they were separated from the road by fences. It was very common to see kids chasing each other and playing there. Nowadays, there are so many cars that, compared to back then, parents don't feel safe letting their children go to school alone. Some even pick up their kids well into middle school. which would have been unthinkable in our time. Back then, schools were close to home. Even first grades or preschoolers walked home by themselves or started taking the bus. In those days, kids would walk around with their monthly bus passes and house keys hanging around their necks. That was just how it was. The more we wander these streets, the more familiar you'll become with the layout. Everything inside the Moat is the oldest part of the city. Once you cross the Moat, you enter the second phase of development. And when we reach the so-called New District, that's already the third phase. The old city presents the boundaries from 100 years ago. The second phase covers the area from about 50 years ago, and the third phase spans the last 20 to 30 years up to the present day. The woman who just walked past on the sidewalk was on a WeChat voice call, having a bit of a row with someone on the other end. It's almost certainly her man. Now, I know we shouldn't be gossiping about random strangers, but I'm mentioning this because being unhappy during the holidays seems quite common. Or maybe they bicker all the time and it just happened to be during the New Year. At times like this, the inevitable line usually comes out. It's the middle of the New Year. Don't ruin my mood. Look at where we are now. The higher the buildings get, the more they completely block out the sunlight. Doesn't it make you feel less happy all of a sudden? Also, because the buildings are taller, they have to increase the distance between them to ensure enough natural light for the units behind. This pushes the storefronts much further away from the roadside. Doesn't it immediately feel less warm and intimate? Even when you are shopping, you just want to buy what you need and leave immediately rather than lingering. It just doesn't feel right, does it? In winter, sunlight is absolutely crucial. Are there any friends living in high latitude regions who can share what life is like when daylight hours are so short? How do you feel every day? Do you get like me whenever it's smoggy or overcast or when the sunlight is blocked? Your mood just drops instantly. See, with the sun out, things feel much better instantly. Almost immediately, I can feel my back starting to warm up. Hey, look at that green vehicle. It's called a wash and sweep truck. At least, I think that's the name. I remember seeing it written somewhere. It's fully electric. Similar ones must exist in many other countries too, right? Using fully electric work vehicles in the city, especially in high density and congested areas, is a real breath of fresh air. If they were fuel powered, their tailpipe emissions would actually be quite high, and it's really unpleasant when they drive past you. As long as there aren't many people around, the main streets look so incredibly clean. Across the road on the left, that cluster of yellow buildings is the first central hospital. In a location like this, it's definitely impossible for there to be any old buildings. The contrast with the first hospital we passed earlier is very obvious. Let's just ride with the sunshine for a while. We've chatted for quite a bit today. If you have anything you are curious about or want to share, please leave a comment. I wish everyone could soak up some of this warm winter sun. See you in the next one.